Good morning, everyone. My name is Madison Theobald, and I am a journalism student here at the University of Mississippi, and I'm a graduating senior. I'm specializing in magazine specialization, and I also have a graphic design minor. Today, I will be introducing Gil Brechtel. After graduating from the University of New Orleans with a Bachelor of Arts degree in marketing, Gil began his career in the periodical distribution industry with Reader's Digest in 1971. In 1974, he joined the Louisiana News Company, the magazine book and distributor located in New Orleans. After 1974 through 1995, Gil managed several different magazine and book distribution companies in Louisiana and in Florida. In October 1995, he joined the Jim Pattison News Group after the company purchased New South Distributors of Jacksonville, Florida, where Brechtel held the position as president. In 1996, he began what was named as president of the News Group of the Southeast. He held the position in 1999, where Brechtel became president of the News Group LP. In this role, he coordinated and managed the supplier relations, marketing, information technology initiatives for the Jim Pattison News Group and their partners for the News Group LP. He left that position in 2002 and joined Time Warner as an exclusive consultant. He was named president of the International Periodical Distributors Association in June 2004. He is now president and CEO of MagNet since 2006. Please join me in welcoming Gil Brechtel.
Good morning. Thanks for that kind introduction. It would have been nice if you didn't tell the year that I got into the business, because it just makes me feel older. Even though if I probably wouldn't have gotten into business, I'd look a lot younger than I do now. I'm going to moderate the next segment of the agenda, which is reimagining the newsstand. I want to thank John for the enlightening but sobering overview of the transformation of the newsstand business over the last 20 years and 10 months, because it was in June of 1995 when wholesaler competition started and when the business changed forever. I'm not suggesting that the channel didn't need to evolve and change back then, as there were varying degrees of wholesaler excellence in the early 1990s, with many wholesalers taking advantage of the fact they were a monopoly and not reinvesting in their businesses or even building relationships with their customers. But what happened to the business was not an evolution, it was a revolution. Prior to 1995, as John said, the newsstand business was great for all involved. Sales and margins were excellent, and every entity in the supply chain was financially healthy. Those of us who were in the business then, and that includes most of the people on our panel this morning, continue to experience the tumultuous changes that John mentioned that have been occurring over the last 20 years. It is infinitely more difficult today than it was in 1995 to be the chief operating officer of any entity in the newsstand business, whether it be publisher, national distributor, or wholesaler. Quite frankly, over the last 7 years, the transformation in our business has been more chaotic, as we've seen a 50% decline in newsstand dollar sales, 2 major wholesalers and a national distributor closing their doors, and leverage shifting from the suppliers to the wholesalers, as the 3 major magazine wholesalers now represent 90% of the newsstand business in the United States. The gentlemen that I will soon introduce to you have had to deal with this enormous transformation of the business and the impact that transformation has had not only on their company's profitability, but also on their business strategies and their focus. John is correct that the newsstand business now is currently financially unsound. But what is equally concerning is that for many large publishers, the newsstand is becoming less relevant than it used to be. As newsstand margin pressure on publishers increased and as newsstand sales continued to decline, some major publishers de-emphasized their focus on the newsstand and lowered their subscription rates to prop up their aggressive rate bases. exacerbating an already tough newsstand situation. Plus, we know that most publishers, both large and small, continue to concentrate and invest in growing their digital and mobile businesses, even though the profitability on those platforms continue to be elusive in many cases. Every magazine title, just like TV and radio shows, as well as internet websites, have a life cycle. We need publishers to continue to produce good product if the newsstand is to remain viable. Without the newsstand, it will be very difficult for publishers to build new brands. The newsstand business is tough, but if we work collaboratively to eliminate supply chain redundant costs, to re-engage our collective customers, the retailer, as well as the consumers who buy our products, then we can make what is still a good business a great business. Look, things aren't all doom and gloom on the newsstand. As MagNet reported in our last newsletter, in the fourth quarter of 2015, titles ranked in sales between 100 and 1,000 actually increased their dollar sales collectively by 7% in the fourth quarter. Adult coloring books became the hottest product in the newsstand in the fourth quarter of 2015, selling over $10 million during that 3-month period, and sales continued to climb in that category. We previously reported on several occasions how bookazines became such a phenomenon on the newsstand. Sid mentioned it last night. And even though bookazine sales have flattened, they still generated over $500 million in sales last year. The good thing about bookazines is that they have high cover prices, which benefit both publisher and wholesaler economics. The great thing about bookazines is that they again prove, just like adult coloring books, that consumers will still buy our products on the newsstand, even with cover prices as high as $12 or $15, if the subject matter is relevant and the magazine is of high quality. I believe that there is a correlation between the newsstand sales success of titles in the bookazine category and adult coloring book category, and the fact that they have no subscriptions and no rate basis to meet. We'll touch on that later in our panel. As you can see, we have plenty to discuss over the next few hours, so let's get started. We have assembled an exemplary group of industry leaders for our Reimagining the Newsstand segment. We have in the order of presentation, Eric Hoffman, President and CEO of Hoffman Media, LLC, Andy Klerman, President and CEO, Active Interest Media, Hubert Bohl, President, CEO of Bauer Media Group, USA, LLC, Sean Everson, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of Ingram Content Group, and David Parry, the President of TNG US and President of TNG LP. Unfortunately, Rich Jacobson, who is the President of Time Inc. Retail, won't be joining us this morning as he had a medical issue and had to stay home, and he offers his apologies. Each of the gentlemen will provide a short presentation introducing themselves, their companies, and their thoughts about the newsstand, its problems, and the opportunities it presents. We'll then have a panel discussion to share and discuss their collective opinions and see how we can not only reimagine how the newsstand could work more effectively, but hopefully reach consensus as to how all segments of the supply chain can work together to reach our collective goals. Thank you.